Hello and welcome to Qt Pixel. Today I'm continuing my open source Minecraft plugin development work. My project today is a continuation of my Dynmap ShopChest plugin. Let me just bring up the GitHub repository here so I can show that off and switch my scene over. Here we go. As I said, this is open source code, so you can go to GitHub to see the latest code that I push live during today's stream. The URL for that is github.com/qdpixel/dynmap-shopchest. It's up on the screen right now. It's been a little while since I've worked on this plugin. According to GitHub, looks like it's been about 21 days between the 4th of July holiday and a few other kind of personal things. It's been tough for me to get some stream time in, but I'm back, and I'm continuing my work today, so thank you for checking me out. I start, as always, with kind of a brief overview of where I've been, particularly with the last stream, and where I want to go, at least partially, today. So, last time I basically started the project. I added a Hello World example, added IntelliJ, added, started the initial plugin, and I have some shop information getting logged when the ShopChest plugin is initialized. Now that's what's working right now. So let's go just demonstrate what's working right now so we can see what is working right at the moment. I've got my own personal Minecraft server up on my local machine here. I have installed a fairly recent version, whatever I installed last time of the plugin that I built. I haven't rebuilt it today yet. And this is what we get. We see a listing of shops, and we see their X, Y, and Z coordinates. And I recall I believe there was an issue with some duplicate shops. I don't see it off the top of my head here, but I did make a note of ignoring duplicate shops. The other thing I need to do is get the world location. Retrieve the world for the shops so that we know what world they're in. We have the XYZ, but we don't have the world. And I think once I have world along with XYZ, I can then ignore duplicate shops. And then next step is to get additional shop information, who the vendor is, what the item is, what enchantments might be on it, buy price, sell price, inventory, and available space. I don't know what term to use for this yet. How many items can you sell? Maybe how about can you sell to the shop? So we have inventory. How many items can you buy? How many items can you buy? And maybe we'll go, how many items can you sell? Can you buy from the shop? Sell to the shop. Those are probably the best descriptions I can think of for that. And I'll have to come up with kind of a better name for that if I can, but I'm just running with available space for now. And that's kind of where we're going. This is my project. I've done a git status. There's really nothing to do here. And so let's go take a look at what we got going on over here. I'm in IntelliJ. This is the plugin. It's a pretty small plugin right now, as you can see. All we do is register events, and then we listen to the shop initialized event. We listen to this because we discovered during the last stream that the shops are not initialized when the ShopChest plugin first loads. It sets up a scheduled job and then initializes them a few seconds later. So in order to get access to all the shops, I need to wait for that shop initialized event. So that's what we do here. Then we dump information. And let's go See, just trying to figure out how to make this all look pretty here. So we have X, Y, Z. Let's also add in world. So we have shop get location dot get world dot get name. Is probably what we're going to need there. I'll just line these up. I like to have things lined up if they're all kind of the same thing. And let's just pull this out as well, just because I feel like it. Let's give that a try. So that should give us the world. Let's go ahead and build it. I haven't built for a little while, so this initial build of the day might take a little bit of time as I re-grab all my dependencies. Nope, that's not too bad. And let's stop and restart our server. So the behavior should be the same, but we should be getting a list of worlds now. So we have world is in everything. So I'm not too surprised that all the shops are in the main world. It does make me kind of want to test and see what happens if I put a shop in the nether. So let's go ahead and do that. To do that, I'll just need to log in briefly and set up a shop in the nether. I'd also do the end, but I'm not sure how to get to the end in my in a non-admin capacity, so I'm going to stick to just the nether. Let's go log into my local server. Looks like I'm hanging out here near my shop. It's a little different than the public server. This is running in a somewhat older backup, so things are a little bit different than what I'm used to. Got my golden shovel. Use that to make a shop in the nether. It doesn't really matter what it is. We'll just make like a cooked fish shop, because that's what I got on hand. Oh, hello, horsey. Oh, you know what? I also need a chest to make a chest shop. Let's go build a chest real fast. Got an Enderman in our spawn area. That's always got to be fun for new players. Actually, this is not where the portal is. It is in the Empton store where the portal is. And here we are in our nether. Let's see, I'm not sure how land is claimed out here. I'll need to make some sticks to do some quick investigation. No one has claimed anything out here. Okay. This is relatively safe. Safe is a pretty relative term, with ghasts shooting fireballs that destroy nether rack. But no one has claimed any of this. Interesting. This is claimed by Empton. No one's claimed this. Well, let's claim this small area. It doesn't really matter. This is just kind of my test server here. My development server. Let's just claim this little area right here. Not that it really matters, but yeah, let's create a shop here. Shop, let's see, it's shop create slash shop create amount. We'll sell 1 fish for, you could buy it for 10 silver. Let's not set a, well, let's do it for, you can sell it back for 1. And there we go. We now have cooked fish in the nether. Let's go populate that with a stack of 64 fish. And now let's bounce our server and see if that shows up. Let's go back to my main house here first. Now let's give that a try. So we'll just stop and start the server and we'll see what that looks like. And there it is. So we see our new nether shop does show up. World is showing up as world_nether. XYZ, I haven't confirmed that XYZ, but that's probably correct. We can double check that here. It's a localhost 8123 for the dynamic map. Let's go to the nether. Let's see, someone's been around. Pixel Grease's been around. And this must be, yeah, that's the new spot I just claimed. And yeah, it's X is around -20 and the Z is around -41. Yeah, so -20, -43. Yeah, that's well within the range of that location. Quite a network of structures going on down here. This is all Empton's work. Yeah, Empton hasn't been around for a little while. He was certainly quite busy when he was. Yeah, I think this is the main spawn point here. Either here, maybe here. It's tough to tell. And somewhere he has his blaze spawn farm. That must be it here. He gave a few people permission to enter it, including myself. Alright, well, the code we're working on to basically print out the world name, retrieve world for shops, does work. Log world name for shops. Nice simple commit, but gets the point across. Now the next step is to ignore duplicate shops. Let's see if we can come up with duplicate shops here. What I think I need to do is actually sort this information. So let's grab this section and sort it. That will allow us to look for duplicate shops. Alright, so I've got our nether shop first. I'm just going to look for anything with a duplicate Z value here and see if everything else matches. Last I did this test, it looked like all of my double chest shops were showing up, so nope, this is different. The X is different here, so this is not a duplicate. In fact, there's 3 in a row here. 71, 73, 75, so no duplicates there. And there's another one. 54, 64, 29. Let's go look at the map and see where that is and see if that's one of my double chest shops. So we said X is negative 54. So right there, and then the Y is 64, doesn't really matter. The Z is 29. Yeah, negative 54, 29. This is absolutely one of my double shops. This is my shop claim here. So it's definitely one of my double shops, double chest shops. Yeah, so that seems to be the issue, is that it has an issue with these double chests and shows them twice. So I need to come up with a way to filter them out. As far as how to do that, let me go check on the Spigot API, see what the location class has for us here. Open this up in frames. I'll go to all classes. There should be like a location class or an interface here. See if we can find it. I just want to see if this is something that would be usable for my purposes. It has location world, double XYZ. I was kind of hoping it would be using integers, since I want like a block location. Let's see if I can find like a block location class. Because I don't want to reinvent this class if it already exists. I'm not seeing a block location. We have get block XYZ. There is a hash code function. Let's see, get block. What does this do for us? Does block have like a location? We've got XYZ. And what am I using over here? I'm getting the world name, the block X, block Y, block Z. So the real question is this hash code function that they're using a reasonable hash implementation? And I'm just not sure if I have access to that. Let's just print it out and see here, because the real question is do the two locations that I'm talking about that are duplicate, would they have the identical hash code? If they do, then this is probably usable. So let's just print it out and see what we get here. Really? This is doing this crap? I just love it when my editor fights with me. So I say hash plus shop get location dot hash code. So this will hopefully tell us whether that hash code is reasonable, and also tell us if it is giving me identical values for those two identical locations that appear identical to me, but might be different in some subtle ways that aren't obvious. All right, so again, we have all of our stuff. The hashes are a little hard to look at. So I'm going to go ahead and sort this again so it's easier to identify the duplicate items. Let's see, copy that. Let's do another sort. Splat, dash, dash, dash. Start with our world nether, then we have all these guys, and it was around, what, the negative 40 range or so. So yeah, so here's one that's duplicate. We have Z29, X64, or X54, Y64. And the hash is identical between them. We have lots of other duplicate hashes for other cases, so I don't know, feels like this is usable. I'm tempted to use the given spigot location class as a key. That way I don't have to write my own kind of custom location class, which is always handy. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's build in a collection of locations of, we'll say a hash map, say private map, and it's going to be from location to shops, I guess. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to... Let's see, until I am sure, I don't really know what to put in here yet. So probably the better way to go is... I'm just not sure. Oh we'll just create a set of locations. So we'll say set of location. This will be locations equals new hash set. That should work. So if this dot locations dot contains shop dot get location, if it does not contain that location, then let's do this stuff here. And lovely, it is messing with my formatting again. Oops. Say this dot locations dot add shop dot get location. So we add the location, we add the shop location to our list of locations, then we log the information. And I think that'll all be fine. Oh, lost more formatting here. Dang it. I may need to turn off formatting on paste. So this will hopefully eliminate the duplicate shops. Let's go give that a test. Alright, so we have the list of shops again. I can't tell at a glance if the duplicates are removed, so we will go copy paste, we will sort. And see what it says. Now first we could probably do a quick count here. Does this tell me how many lines are selected? I don't see that. Let's pull that into Atom. Atom's a little better editor and it should give me a better indication as to what's going on here. So we have 110 down here, so we've got 109 lines. And this says 109 shops initialized, so it's a good sign that we've gotten rid of the duplicates. Let's go take a look again for those duplicates that we've seen before. I think it was around in this range, this X-54 Z29. It looks like the hash is identical, so that's nice that the hash seems to be a consistent hash. And the duplicates are gone. Just kind of doing a quick scroll through, seeing if anything pops out. But everything I see indicates that the duplicates have been removed. Hello, Lone Z. Welcome back to the stream. I'm doing okay. How are you? As far as what's up, continuing to work on my open source Minecraft plugins. The work today is on a integration between ShopChest and Dynmap so that you can actually go to the dynamic map for a server and see the shop chests displayed on it, see inventory and prices and stuff like that. That's kind of the current project I am working on today. And the initial work is to kind of gather the information about shops from the plugin itself. That's what you see, this big dump right now is all that logged information. And once I get that in a convenient format, I will look at adding that to the map. And this is the set of tasks I'm working on. The first task here is to ignore duplicate shops. I noticed last time I streamed that the plugin was giving me a set of duplicate shops, and so I wanted to create some code to ignore those, and that looks like it is working. The next step is to get the additional information that we will want to display. Things like the vendor, the item that is being sold, any enchantments that are on it, buy price, sell price, how many you can buy, and how many you can sell. Then once I have all that, then we can look at adding that to the dynamic map. So that's kind of the roadmap for this current plugin, and we'll see how far we get on this today. The current task, ignoring duplicate shops, I'm pretty sure is done at this point. Let me do a quick check of the code. And if that all looks good, let's go ahead and commit that. So we've added this set data structure, a hash set of locations. If the locations does not contain the shop location, then we print the information and add it. And that's how we get rid of duplicates, is we basically check to see if the location already exists in this hash set. And that all looks good so far. Now the next step is to continue gathering more information. We have the vendor. This would be the name of the player who is selling the item. Oh, you know, I just committed a bit of debugging code. I committed the hash code, and I don't think I want the hash code as part of this. So let's go amend that commit real fast. This is one of the reasons why I don't push things to GitHub right away, is if I do detect a mistake like that, it allows me to fix it. First, let's make sure it builds. I don't want to fix it and only make the problem worse, so it still builds. Let's just do a quick test here, make sure that I did get rid of that hash code and didn't break anything else. But yeah, by not pushing that to GitHub right away allows me to amend the commit or do other kind of steps to improve things before I push it and inflict that upon the whole world. Once I push a commit, I can still amend it, but it's usually not recommended. It has some issues with doing that. Yeah, we can see the hash code is gone, so I'm satisfied that works. We'll just say git add, git commit dash dash amend. And yeah, now I have just that one commit, nothing about hash code. That should be fine. All right, next up is to get more shop information. First up is the vendor. Let's go see what that might look like. This editor is really driving me crazy here. Oh, come on. I'll say vendor. Shop dot. Well, you get vendor, all right. Dot get name. That seems like it's probably simple enough. Let's just do a quick spot check on that. I have a pretty good sense as to who the vendors of all the different shops are. At least I should be able to recognize my shops when they come up. So we'll just double check that and make sure that that all seems reasonable. That doesn't give us any weird exceptions or anything. Yes, we've got Empton with a bunch of stores. We've got Cute Pixel myself, that's my nether store. Empton, Cute Pixel, Fav, 1234, Pixel Grief, Merrick Thane. These are all people that I know are running stores. I don't think there's any surprises in here. Although I don't think I've seen the Merrick Thane stores. They're actually quite a ways from the spawn point. I'd have to go visit them in person to see what they are selling or buying. I'm not sure which. They haven't gone out of the way to really promote their store. Everything else seems to be working just fine, though. So we've got vendor. The next is the item. What would that look like? Item shop dot what? Get item. And this is giving me a shop item, and so I could. This is probably part of the the ShopChest plugin. Let's go check their code and see what shop item does for us. In particular, does it have a toString that is reasonable? We have ShopChest. Let's try shop item. It keeps track of an item stack, a location. Get location, get entity item, get item stack. Yeah, I don't see a toString here. No. An item stack might be the more appropriate class. Let's go check the Spigot API. Let's see what item stack looks like. Item stack, we have. See, there's a constructors, a stack, a material, an amount. Material. So this is a listing of all materials in the game. I was kind of hoping there would be a cleaner way to get this information. Like, they've got to have, like, their code for displaying the hologram. Let me see how they get the item information for the hologram, if I can find their hologram code. So we have a shop, item stack product, Alright, so there's a hologram. Where's hologram come from? NMS. Hologram. So we have hologram, string, lines, location. So somebody somewhere has to create the hologram. So let's see if we can search in this repository. Say new hologram. Who does that in this repository? So shop. We say hologram equals new hologram. Let's try this. New hologram. Plug in holotext. Where is holotext coming from? Holotext equals get hologram text. Well, where does that come from? So item type, get product, get type. So what does get type do off of products? We have, let's see, can I do this? Get product dot get type. That's a material. So maybe let's just log in and check some of these holograms. Maybe it doesn't do any weird conversion and it just displays the raw enumeration. I honestly haven't checked the holograms in a little while, so this will just give us a good opportunity to check that. And I'll just check my own personal store. Yeah, so it gives us one white wool, so that's a nice looking material. Description of it. Cobblestone. So it looks a little nicer than what I would expect. Maybe I could just try it. Because last time I checked, if you're just working with a straight enumeration, that it is not so pretty, but maybe it'll just work. Let's just try it. So we're saying item is shop get product get type. We'll just leave it like that and see what that looks like. Yeah, so this is what I was afraid of, that the formatting I'm getting is not so great. It's all capitalized. We're having underscores as opposed to spaces. And if I go look up say wool, I get wool rather than the color. So how do they get their nice looking hologram, and why am I getting this mess? Well, there's this product has item meta, get product, get item meta, get display name. Otherwise, null. So we put in placeholders, vendor amount, item name. Get item name, get product. Language utils, get item name. Where does language utils come from? Then we have get enchantments. Get potion effects. Didn't realize they also accounted for potion effects. Interesting. Let's go see where language utils comes from. It's one of their classes, alright. And of course, language utils is not in their utils package. That would be too easy. Where did it come from? It looks like .language utils. And yeah, this is where they did it. They had hand-coded all these different versions. Stone, granite, polished granite, diorite, polished diorite, andesite. And here's all the different wools. It'd be really nice if I didn't have to duplicate this work. Looks like this is static. Public static load. Can I just use this? Get item name from item stack. I'm tempted to just see if I can just use this directly. Public static get item name from item stack. Oy. Alright, so this will be what? Language utils dot get item name from item stack. So this is shop dot get product. Is that an item stack? Yeah, we'll try that. So we're using their plugin anyways, might as well just use their same code. And that way, as they improve their code, my code will be able to take advantage of it, and hopefully it is not buggy. But my hope is that it'll at least be consistent between the two and I don't have to reinvent the wheel. Which, as fun as that is, I don't really relish looking up. You know, they had looks like hundreds of lines of lookup tables and whatnot, and coming up with that information is just kind of beyond where I want to be. And excellent. It looks like it is working. So we have pumpkin seeds, we've got wheat, we've got cooked fish, potion of fire resistance. Okay, yeah, so that is some of those things. Those must be the Merrick Thane shops, because I have not seen a potion shop anywhere. We've got a diamond shop, a couple of diamond shops. We've got Empton's shop, we've got my shop, mushroom, saplings, charcoal, must be me. Lapis lazuli, that's Empton. I've got white wool, pink wool. I've got a lock on the wool market. Empton has a lock on pretty much everything else. And Merrick Thane looks like they're doing potions. So nice. I think that's a good implementation there. Just rely on the ShopChest plugin rather than doing that ourselves. So we've got the item. What's next? Enchantments. Let's see, before I go there, I think there's also potion effects. Because I know they had displayed potion effects as part of their stuff, and so I'm tempted to test that here. So where are the Merrick Thane potion shops? We have potion of fire resistance. X is -1177, and then -734. 1177, 734. 1177, 734. So it's got to be in this area. So I think I want to log in as my administrator account and check out this area. In fact, I might just teleport just to make things a little bit easier. If someone I could figure out how to teleport works. Let's go log in and give that a try. Okay, so where do I want to go? -1114, -810. So /TP, maybe QU to X -1114. Let's just go pretty high, 200. And what, -804. And here I am. So this is an area I have not really explored very much, or at all, actually. I don't think I've ever been out here. Here we have a saddled horse, skeleton horse. I can't go in here, so that may not be the shop. The shop might be down here. Aha, there we go. What is this? We have one potion of healing that I could buy for 75 silver. Potion of water breathing for 75. Fire resistance 75. Swiftness 75. Night vision 75. We have an empty. and feather. So I'm just going to do a shop open so I can look at what's in here. Potion of healing, instant health appears to be the effect. Water breathing, 8 minutes. Let's try that again. Are they all 8 minutes? Eight minutes is a long time in Minecraft time. Fire resistance, 8 minutes. Speed, 8 minutes when applied, plus 20% speed. And night vision, 8 minutes. So the question is does any of that show up if I get shop information? Yeah, so we have Potion of Healing, Potion Effect Instant Health. So it's given us the effect. Let's go check this as well. Potion Effect Water Breathing Extended. Fire Resistance Extended. Speed Extended. And Night Vision Extended. Yeah, so we've got these potion effects that seem like they would be handy to have. Oh, there's another portal over here. Cool. So probably not too hard to get here for somebody who knows what they're doing. Rather than teleporting straight here, I just didn't know the easier way of getting here, or didn't know the legitimate way of getting here. So yeah, let's go check how to print out those potion effects. Now, their code kind of hinted at it here. Let's go take a look here. Get item name. Get enchantment name. Get enchantment string. Public static string, get enchantment string. You give it a map of enchantments and integers. Okay. Get potion effect name. Get music disc name. Get book generation name. Get message. And there's a lot of logic that goes into this. So we've got item name that we're already using. There is get enchantment name that looks like it works on a per enchantment basis, and then one item can have multiple enchantments, so we'll have to be mindful of that. Potion effect. Looks like there's just one potion effect. If item stack is null, return null. If it's not a potion, return empty string. So I don't know. Let's give this a try. Let's say... Oh my goodness. plus. Potion effect. And it's great that we have all this kind of testing data to work with. It's great that people have put up these various shops. So in this case, it is get potion effect name shop.getProduct. And most of these will have no potion effect whatsoever. I'll have to figure out what to do about this. For the moment, though, we will continue on with what we've got and just see how this works out. Let's go ahead and build that. Let's rebuild down here, redeploy. We'll take a look. So we've got potion effect, night vision, instant health, water breathing, fire resistance. So it's not telling us anything else than... and this is already given us. In fact, it's not giving us the more advanced stuff, like the extended variant of this. So let's see if there's another function I can call that gives us better information. Get potion effect name. Get major version. Version type upgraded to upgrade string. There's something showing up with the word extended. Let's see if the word extended appears anywhere here. Shop info, potion effect. Potion effect, extended. Shop info, extended, extended. Well, what I want to do is look up how they handle that command, that info command. So let's just take a look here and see if we can figure out how their command works. So on enable, could not find blah blah blah, setup economy, get server version, load in utils and extras. I don't see anything about setting up the command. I don't think my plugin has any commands either. Let's go. I sent out another tab or window. Reload to refresh my session. Okay. I guess my cookie expired. Let's see, let's go to stimulus package. I know I've got some commands here. This will allow me to see how commands get initialized. Just kind of remind myself of how they get initialized. So on enable, we get the economy. Yeah, so we're setting executor for these commands. Huh. Maybe it does it here. Yeah, this looks like the initialization here. So we have register, we have send basic help. Only players can use this command. Subcommand execute. The subcommand gets name equals, ignore case, arg0. Interesting, we have tab completions. I wasn't aware we have tab completions options. I'll have to think about that for other plugins I work on. Reload, update, config, remove all. Create, remove info, info P. Remove info. A given player retrieves information about a shop. Wants to retrieve information. You can now click a chest. Remove click type after 15 seconds. So we have click type, set player click type, enum click type info. So this must be a class they've written. Let's go look for click type. I don't know where that's going to be. Let's go back to command and look for click type in our imports here. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, it's in the executor. Let's check that again here. All right, so ShopChest utils click type. Okay, back in the utils. Get product, get price, sell price, get shop type. Well, there's got to be an event we're listening for, player click event or something. Maybe a listener. Area shop, block explode, chest protect, shop interact, shop item. Shop interact listener. On inventory click. On player manipulated armor stand. On player interact create. So we have info, function, executor player execute the command will retrieve the information shop from which the information will be retrieved. So we got vendor, vendor string, product string, enchantment, potion effect, book generation, music disc. We've got potion effect. If it's extended, if potion effect length is greater than 0 and it's extended, we append shop info extended to it. Well, unfortunately, that's not going to be terribly useful for my purposes. However, from what I'm seeing of potions, that the name we have from the potion is basically the effect. And so if you look at a potion of fire resistance, you know the effect is going to be fire resistance. And unless someone is able to point out to me that you can have 2 different potions of fire resistance with different effects, then I'm probably not going to bother with that right at the moment. The potion effect stuff seems to be a lot of difficulty trying to get that sorted out. So I think what I want to do for right now is let's ignore the potion effect. It seems to be more hassle than it's worth, and I'm not even sure it is necessary yet. We'll add it as an issue, though. Is the potion effect information important? Just not sure yet. So I'm going to our potion effects important. I'll leave that as an open issue to think about and address later if necessary. However, for enchantments, this is a potential tricky bit here. So let's go log in as my regular account and set up a couple different shops with a couple different sets of enchantments. And we'll have to see, oops, I'm logged in as the admin account. Let me log in as my regular account. Minecraft does not like being shut down so soon after launching it. Let's give this a try. So log in to my local test server, my development server. This is where I've got all my stuff. Let's see, let's go, where is... I don't have a crafting block down here. That is not really handy. I think the nearest one is probably over here. And let's grab 3 different books, enchantment books. With some big ol' enchantments, like at least 4 different enchantments on them if I got them. If I only got up to 3, we'll go with 3, I guess. Yeah, I'm only seeing up to 3, so let's grab 3 different 3 enchantment books here. So Depth Strider 3, Looting 2, and Breaking 3. Fire Protection 3, Punch 1, Silk Touch. Efficiency, Flame, Sweeping Edge. So that's good. 3 good different selections there. And we'll go down to my store, and we'll go ahead and create just some test stores here with these books. So 1, 2, 3. Let's say shop create. How does create work again? Let's see, the amount, the buy price, we'll say /shop create. The amount is 1. Buy price will make 1,000. Sell price, let's not. We'll go with 100. Why not? 100 for that, just so we have some test data. One enchanted book. Sell for 100, buy for 1,000. And we'll dump that in. Now the same over here. We'll just do the same thing. Oops. Weird that it wasn't creating the shop right away. And then finally here as well. We'll do it here. Now let's take a look at what we get here. So we have shop info. Yeah, so we have 1 enchanted book as the product. Then we have enchantments, Depth Strider 3 and Breaking 3, Looting 1. In stock is 1. And I click on this, we have Fire Protection 3, Punch 1, Silk Touch 1. Then go over to here. Efficiency 3, Flame 1, Sweeping Edge 3. So the enchantments seem to be working. So this is the same information I would want to get out in my plugin and have that be visible in the map. So that'll be the test data we will work with and see what it takes to get that out. So this is the information we have so far. We have the location, we have the vendor, the item. I got rid of push in effect. What I needed to add now is to add in enchantments. And we saw that language utils does have this get enchantment name. It requires an enchantment and a level. We also have, we can give it a map of enchantments to integers, an enchantment map. So let's just see if I can get from the shop to get product and enchantment map. We have enchantment level, get enchantments. Okay, that'll be great. So we stack all that, we get the output of enchantments. Since this is going to be pretty lengthy, I'll just get this into a temporary variable here. And we'll say plus enchantments. Let's go clean up all this. So most stores should have no enchantments, but those 3 I just added, we should be able to see some enchantments come out of it at this point. So let's go take a look. Let's go ahead and build here. Go ahead and bounce our server and run it again, and we will see the new information. Alright, so we have our enchantments. Most of, as you can see, most of them, in fact, all of them are empty. Okay, well that's unfortunate, because we kind of need those enchantments. So what went wrong here? We're in shop, get product, got to get enchantments. Oh, how do I follow this? Is this... Go to declaration. Return map. If this meta is null, immutable map.of. Otherwise, this meta get enchants. So I guess the question is do they do something else to initialize their enchantments? We've been looking at the potion effects, but now we can look at the books. Item utils, get enchantments. Ah, maybe this is what we should do. What's going on? Close this. Item utils, get enchantments, shop.get product. And this is beginning to get a little lengthy as well. Interesting. Let's see if we can wrap this and have that fit. There we go. Yeah, so let's see if that works a little better. There's just so much stuff to think of to get all this information out. Ah, here we go. So now we have the list of enchantments. Depth Strider 3, Unbreaking 3, Looting 2, Fire Protection, Punch, Silk Touch, Efficiency 3, Flame, Sweeping Edge. So that seems to be working now. And continuing to work down our list, we have buy price and sell price. Let's see what it takes to get those prices out of it here. Oh, there's actually also probably the amount, how many the shop is buying and selling in one purchase. So let's look at that as well. So let's try amount. Shop dot, is that get amount? Would that be enough? So there's buy price, there's sell price. That seems simple enough. I don't see anything that implies like an amount. We could try get product dot get amount. Maybe they encode it that way. Let's give that a try. It'd be nice if there's a nice kind of simple, this is the amount, rather than kind of hiding it in one of these other classes, but there might be a reason why they did that. Assuming this even works. Amount 1. Now there's some that sell more than one. Like Merrick Thing has a shop of steak. She's selling them 5. Fish for 5. Empton is selling sandstone, amount 16. Now some of my shops I'm selling in amounts of 64. Oh, here we go. Stone. Amount is 64. Cobblestone, 64. Charcoal. Okay, yeah, so the amount, that seems to be the amount. So that looks good. And then buy price and sell price looks pretty simple. Alright, this is bugging me enough. I think it's time to turn off whatever setting is causing it to format code on paste. It's just too much hassle. Code style. I've got all my style set up. It's still formatting on paste. Show notification after reformat, after optimize, scrolling. Let's just try paste and see what comes up with here. Or copy. Oh, we got this copyright. No, that's not really what we're looking for. Code style, Java. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to do a quick Google search and see what comes up. Say IntelliJ format code on paste. Paste without auto formatting. Settings, preferences, editor, general, smart keys, reformat on paste. And then we have paste simple, whose hotkey is Control-Alt-Shift-V. Will preserve the literal white space. Maybe try that for the moment. So Control-C, Control-Alt-Shift-V. Control-Alt-Shift. That is a real pain in the butt to hit. In fact, that's going to annoy me enough. Let's see if I can just turn that off here. I don't want to use that. Editor General Smart Keys. Editor General Smart Keys. Reformat on paste. Let's say none and see if that stops pissing me off. Ha ha ha, much better. I won't be fighting it every single time I copy paste a line. Let's see, Marky G6000 asks, does the get enchantment work on enchanted items too? I think I've only seen books. That is a great question. Let's go ahead and take a look. Because I have some enchanted items, some pretty complex enchanted items I can test and see what they look like. So let's give that a test. I've got like a sword. I've got all the basic tools: sword, shovel, axe. Let's pick 3 of them and give them a test here. Yeah, so let's go delete all of these. We'll say shop, is it what? Shop remove. Remove that. And that. Now let's pull these items back. And let's see. Unfortunately, I don't have... all my tools are kind of... I don't know what the word is. They're damaged a little bit, so I need to grab something that is not damaged. I think I have some fishing rods that are not damaged. I'll go grab those. And they also have some interesting enchantments, so that'll give us something to test with. We'll go drop these books off over here. Actually, I don't need to drop them off. It doesn't matter. This is all testing. I don't have to have everything put away. So for fishing rods, I got 4 of them, but we'll start with just 3 here and see what they do. Their enchantments, we have Unbreaking, Luck of the Sea, Lure. All the enchantments are the same, but they're in a different order. Have any other items? Have a bunch of broken bows. We'll stick with the fishing rods and see what they do. If I want to test the other items, I'll have to find a way to repair them quickly. They'll have mending on them, but it'll take some time to grind enough experience to mend them all up. So let's do this. Let's say /shop create amount 1100. There's 1 fishing rod. They'll do the same here. And finally, oops, let's put that in the correct hand and do the same here. So let's check. Oh, interesting. The spinning is a little bit off, so they all spin at a different not a different speed, but their initial angle is off, so it just looks a little funny. Sorry, distracted by stuff like that. So say shop info. And we see Unbreaking 3, Luck of the Sea 3, Lure 3, Mending 1. Let's try this one. Unbreaking 3, Luck of the Sea 3, Mending 1, and Lure 3. So the order is a little different, so we can see that they are distinct. And then this one. Unbreaking 3, Luck of the Sea, Lure, and Mending. So we're back to the first order again. I think, yeah. Well, let's see what that looks like. Let's go test our plugin and see if we're able to pick that up. I'm using the same function, so it should work, but it's a good test just to make sure that items work the same as books. Let's go finish the current task here, which is, I think we were working on, what, buy price. Buy price. And sell price. So I think we could do, what, shop.get buy price. Get sell price. I want to format these using the economy system, but for just testing purposes, this will be fine. Now let's take a look. Yeah, so it looks like the fishing rod is also working. We see the Unbreaking 3, Luck of the Sea 3, Lure 3, Mending 1. And that repeats, or does repeat there, but then with the middle one is different, where Mending and Lure are reversed. It looks like that does work. Now the price, we're only seeing the double right now. So we're seeing the 75.0, we're not seeing the silver formatting. I think if I was to log into Minecraft, we would see it show up as like 75 silver for this, 1000 silver for this. And so there's some formatting to do there. Buy price, sell price, inventory, and available space. Let's see what we got here for inventory. Shop.get. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing anything that gives me any indication as to how much is available. Hyperfang Hyena says, my Twitch titles are all the same and they won't change. Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not sure if that's something I have control over. If there's a problem with my channel, let me know, and I will do my best to fix my channel. I'm just not sure what you're asking, though. So I know somewhere in this Dynmap, the ShopChest plugin, I've seen how to get like the amount of inventory available. It might be a util thing. So let's try shop utils and see what we see here. Get shop, is shop, add shop. Get shop limit. The shop limits of a player. This might be the number of shops that player is allowed to create. Get the amount of shops of a player. Must be a count thing. Reload the shops. Don't see anything there that implies. Maybe try item utils? I'm guessing fast math is not going to be what we want. We have square root. Fast R A cosine. Let's see if the plugin has any functions here to do this. I know I've seen the ability to check this somewhere. I just forget where I've seen it. Check for updates. I'm getting a null pointer exception with this function on my server. I wonder what their issue is. Master listeners, initialize shops, debug, holograms. Yeah, nothing here really seems to jump out at me. See, Marky G 6000 says, get inventory holder, get inventory. Yeah, let me take a look at that. So we have shop dot get inventory holder dot get inventory gets us an inventory class, and this gets us name, title, add item, contains at least, get contents, get max stack size, get size. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's possible the size does what I want, but what I really want is to figure out how many items, how many of the item that is for sale are in this particular inventory. And I know I could write code to iterate over it myself and add it all up. That's not too hard. I just want to avoid doing that if they give us a way to do it automatically, or give it if they've already done that work. I'm just not sure where that code is, and I'm pretty sure I've seen code that does that. It's just not showing up where I would expect. Actually, command could be a good option here. Let's look for this again. Info Because I think the info information gets the amount of items for sale. All right, we need to look for the click event. This is under what, listeners, shop interact. And I think we have another info present here. Yeah, info player. So we have utils.get amount. Where is utils coming from? Only have 60 matches to go through here. Utils.utils. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Is item similar? Get the amount of items in inventory. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. We give it inventory, the inventory in which the items are counted, item stack, the items to count. And then get free space for item. Yeah, these are the two that I'm going to be interested in. So let's say utils.get, was it get amount, I think it was? Yeah, get amount. That inventory is the inventory in which the items are counted, so get amount. Shop.get I guess get inventory holder dot get inventory. And the next up is shop dot get product. Yeah. What's the next thing they told us is free space. We'll call it the same here. We'll say free space. And we give the same thing. We give it inventory and item stack. So get free space for item. And I gotta format this, but I just want to see if this works. Oh, there's some error here. I need to close that parenthesis. And I probably need to close the function parenthesis. There we go. Let's give that a try. Alright, so we're getting quite a messy output display here. Alright, so we have like, for cooked chicken, we have 1,723 in the inventory. Free space is 5. And that's the Pixel Grief store. I think I can test that by hand. So let me just go log in and just confirm some of these values by hand, just to make sure that what I'm seeing does make sense. If it truly is only 5 free space available, then that'll be pretty easy to count. So the cooked chicken store, that's just out my front door here, or my store door. It's not really my front door. I think this is the store that we're talking about. So we'll say shop info 1723. Selling is disabled. Actually, I need to log in as my admin account to check this. So let me go ahead and log out and log in as my admin account. As only my admin account will be allowed to open the shop and actually check the inventory directly. Where's my admin? Oh. Is this correct? I thought my admin account was over... somewhere else. Interesting. I don't remember teleporting my admin account back to here. Unless I moved that in the actual production server, that's possible. Okay, so let's say shop open. Let's go take a look. Yeah, so we've got a full stack of chicken, and then one spot is missing 5. So yep, there is space to sell back 5 chicken if Pixel Grief was to actually allow us to sell chicken. If we say shop info, he has sell disabled, so we can't actually sell it back. So I wanted to keep that in mind. Then if I check gold, let's go see what it said for gold. So when it's easy to find, I might need to start gripping this here. Let's just copy paste. It's just a little too much to process. So let's look for gold. So we have golden shovel. Put up by Empton. No, I want gold ingot by Pixel Grief. This says what? Inventory 111, free space 1617. So that's going to be too much to count, but we can, guess that it's basically nearly empty. And yeah. So I could do some math and see if that truly is the case, but it looks good enough for me. And the diamond's probably the same thing. Let's go look for diamonds. And who is this? This is Pixel Grief. He has 34 diamonds and his free space is 1694. So I'm guessing one stack of 34 diamonds and then everything else is all blank. So we'll take a look here. / shop open. And that is indeed the case. Since I'm invisible, I don't affect these pads. I'll make myself visible. No reason to be... What is going on over there? You look like you just kind of floated from the sky or something. Oh, that's why I want to be invisible, because these guys don't aggro on me when I'm invisible. So the other thing to test is things like... not enough money. Yeah, because I have no money. Things like saddles. Shop open. These only allow you to stack 1 per stack. And so if I take, like, say, 2 out, the free space should be 2 rather than, say, 128. So that's something to go check. In the meantime, let's go look for a saddle. And see if it just comes back with 0. Yeah, saddle, free space 0. Excellent. And we have other things, the free space 0. Empty nether rack is 0 free space. Inventory 1000, blah, 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 blah. Then here we have something interesting. We have another brick. Inventory 1231, free space is 49, but it's less than this inventory here. This inventory must be a full chest or close to a full chest. This inventory is not quite a full chest, or not a full chest, and the free space doesn't add up. So I want to check Epton's nether. Is it another brick? Yeah, another brick store, and see if he's dumped some other item into there to make it to make it so you can't sell as much stuff to his store. Where is his nether brick store? This store is just so crazy busy. That looks like it. Yeah, another brick. It's a shop open. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Is he filled it with a bunch of stacks of cobblestone, or not even stacks, but just one cobblestone per slot. And so that definitely limits the amount of selling one can do. And so, yep, that seems to make sense. Let's just double check that one more time to see if that value makes sense. So we have 15 here, so we can sell back, what, 50? 50 would be 60, so 49. We can sell back 49. Let's go see if 49 is the answer we were given for another brick. Yep, free space 49. Let's see, the fishing rods. Those are the other question. So we have fishing rods. Free space 26. So let's see, 9 slots per row, 3 rows. So yeah, normally should be 27 free spaces, and I have 1 in there. So 26 looks correct. The saddle, I think we checked this, and it certainly says 0. And I've pulled the 2 out, so if I reset my server, that should come back and be normal again. So let's just give that a try. I'll just go back to spawn and log out. And there we go. There's all of our debug information again. Trying to find a way to make this nice and pretty and display in the dynamic map. That's going to be an interesting challenge. Not quite sure what I'm going to do for that yet. Let's look up saddle. Yeah, free space too. So this all looks pretty good to me. We have Empton selling melon seeds. He has inventory of 6. Free space 58. He must have only 1 stack available. And oak saplings. He has inventory 256. So that's what, I think 4 stacks and no free space. So Empton must have dumped a lot of kind of junk blocks into his stores to limit the amount of selling, which makes sense because you don't want to have someone clean out your entire silver inventory by selling a bunch of stuff. I have not done such a thing with my stores. If you go to my stores, you'll see that all of them have full inventory. In fact, they're double chests, so they're even worse. Like my gray wool, for instance, my free space is 3,264, and I'm willing to allow you to sell that to me for 1 each. So you can, if you sold me all 3,264 wool, you would get me 3,264 silver. I don't even know if I have that much silver available, so I'd probably stop buying partway through that process. But every color of wool is the same way, so you multiply that by, what, 15, 16. I've got, 40,000 slots available for all the different colors of wool. So I don't know if somebody decided to start trying to bankrupt me, I might do the same thing that Empton does and limit the amount of slots. But in any case, the inventory and free space seems to be working. We have an interesting one. We have cooked pork chop. He has 0 inventory and 64 free space. Well, somebody could make some money there. What he's selling it for. Buy prices 4, sell prices 2. So we can make a whole whopping 128 silver by selling 64 pork chop to Empton. Probably not the best use of time. See, Marky G 6000 asks, are you going to keep it like inventory 130 or a format or something like 2 stacks, 2 items? I'm not sure yet. I'm leaning towards doing just the simple inventory 130, like you say, just to give them the full number. Because if I do like the 2 stacks, 2 items approach that you're mentioning, I have to be mindful of different stacks. I think eggs are limited to 16, most items are limited to 64, and there's a few that are limited to just 1. And so if I'm going to count up by number of stacks, that's just more logic. And I think for at least the initial version, I would go with just the raw number and say, 64 or 3,264. If people ask for it, I might be willing to do like a more nice stack approach. But I think the initial version, I'll just keep it the way it is at the moment. Let's see, let's keep looking at our stuff. So we've got the vendor, the item, the enchantments, the amount, buy price, sell price, inventory, and available space. I think that's the only, and that's all the information we need for my server. The only thing that is missing is if I was to set up an admin shop. And so let's just set up a quick admin shop and see what that looks like. Just so I can use that for comparison. While I don't use admin shops on my server, I think it would be potentially useful for other people if other people are going to use this plugin, particularly if they're using admin shops. So I'll see if it's easy to do. Just want to see, was it on my public server where I moved? Yeah. So on my public server, I teleported to the shop and not on my local development server. That's why my 2 accounts are in different locations. My local development server is basically a recent backup of my public server. Let's see, so here's a great spot for an admin shop. Let's just see what we can do here. Let's do it right here. Say /shop. All right, so shop create amount, buy price, sell price, normal admin. So let's say, let's give let me queue you a chest. Let's place it. Shop, create. Amount is 1. Buy price we'll say 25. Sell price we'll say is 5. And we'll say it's an admin shop. Ah, there we go. So we have admin shop in nice red letters. And it duplicates my saddle shop. Because I need to do shop open in order to actually interact with it here. So I've stolen from my other account, my Cute Pixel account, and put saddles in the admin shop. But it'll allow us to test. Let's go bounce our server and see what that looks like. And we've got all of our shops. So much information for shops. There should be 2 saddle shops. We have Let Me Queue You is the vendor. Which doesn't feel quite right. Because it showed up as an admin shop when I logged in. And if I go buy something from it, it shouldn't affect the balance for Let Me Queue You. It should be... Well, let's just see. I've got my stimulus package plugin that logs all this stuff, so I can actually log in as my regular account, buy a saddle from that shop, and see what happens to the money. See if it goes to Let Me Queue You, or see if it just vanishes. My hope is that as an admin shop, it should just vanish. I don't want my admin account to accumulate currency if I set up an admin shop. And I suspect that is how it works. But I'm just a little concerned at the moment based on who is marked as the owner of that shop. So let's go take a look. So I'm in Pixel Grief space. Let's go head out to the spawn. I see the hologram before I see the shop because the ore obfuscator is obfuscating it for me. So yeah, we've got the admin shop. Let's just buy. My balance is 1726 silver. I don't have a lot of silver. I should have some wealth though. Where's my wealth? There it is. Yeah, so let's go see what that does in our stimulus logs that tracks transactions and stuff like that. Let's see, we should have... Yeah, there should be a ShopChest log, so let's check that. So I bought 1 saddle, Cute Pixel, from Let Me Queue You. Huh. I'm a little surprised that isn't showing up as an admin shop. Let's check the transaction log. Say an economy. Plug in give. Cute Pixel. 1 silver. No idea what that is. Did I buy something for 1 silver from me? Or that might have been a stimulus package thing. I don't know. Plug and take. This is what I want. So we took 25 silver from CutePixel, didn't give it anywhere else. So it is functioning like an admin shop. And so that's probably how it works. Is it's marked as an admin shop. It still has a shop owner for whatever reason, but the owner doesn't get any money if it's marked as an admin shop. So I think I need to pull out the shop type. Let me say if shop dot get what? Get type maybe? Get vendor, get shop type is probably what we want, and I bet that's an enumeration. Name to string. Oh, we'll just do the automatic two-string conversion and see what that does. So much stuff. So much information we're getting about shops here. Fortunately, a lot of this will probably be pretty easy to format in a web page. The enchantments I'll have to think about because they can be pretty lengthy. I've seen some items with like 5 enchantments on them. So if somebody is selling a 5 enchantment item, that would be a little bit hard to print. And hey, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate that. So let's take a look. We should have 2 saddle shops. One of them should be an admin shop, and I do see that type of normal here, so let's just copy paste this into an editor. Look for saddle. Yeah, so we have type admin, vendor, let me queue you. Yeah, so I think that's all the information I need. I'll need to figure out how to display that on the web page, of the actual dynamic map. That should be easy enough. Just taking a moment to think through what steps to do, what's next here. Go bring up my list. So we've got vendor. We've just added type. We found out that type was important. So we have type, vendor, item, enchantments, the amount, buy price, sell price, inventory, and available space. Is it available space, or did I call it free space? Yeah, free space. Let's rename it to free space. That's more of a computer term. We all recognize free hard drive space, free inventory space. So that should work. So I don't know. I think we have all the information at this point. There's certainly some formatting stuff. Like I think I said, I want to format the buy price and the sell price, but I'll save that for when we display it on the web page. For the moment, I'm just going to ignore that. We've got some formatting junk here to deal with. Let's see, how does this work? Is this get amount and get free space for item? Is those returning integers, I hope? Yeah, I get free space for item returns an integer. Get amount returns an integer. So let's go ahead and put those in temporary variables just to make it easier on us. We'll say inventory is equal to that int free space. is equal to that. Well, that just barely fits there. But it fits, so I'm going to be good with that. I'll adjust that just slightly so I can see the line I'm using there. I don't know why that moved. Oh no, there's a closing parentheses I'm missing. Oh, and now it's just beyond. Now this is still kind of test code, so I think I'm going to ignore that one character. And when I refactor this into more production-ready code, I'll consider refactoring or rewriting it, reformatting it at that time. But for kind of the test code that I have now, this is probably fine. So yeah, I think we're pretty good. Let's go take a look at the diff and see where we're at. I should probably do just a quick smoke chest, make sure that that last change I made doesn't break anything. You never know, sometimes you copy paste, stuff happens. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anything obvious before I commit something that's horribly broken. Yeah, all looks good. I'm not going to do all the same checks. We're getting the same information. Nothing unusual is coming up here. Yeah, so we've added in enchantments, inventory, free space as kind of temporary variables. We've updated our output to include all of the information that we need. We don't do any real formatting on it. We just splat it to our console. But it gives us the raw information we need to now do the rest of the plugin. All right, so this next bit is going to be a little bit tricky. To demonstrate this, I want to bring up the dynamic map, and so I can kind of see. So it'll give me some things I could point out for what I'm talking about here. So we have multiple layers in this map. We have markers, players, and land claims. Land claims are these things, these kind of red, green, blue things that show all the different grief prevention land claims. And I've worked with this dynamic map API. I know how to create additional markers, rectangular or actually arbitrary shaped markers on the map. And so my thought was to add in additional rectangles for shops. And the reason why I would do a rectangle as opposed to like a static marker like this is because this here is Empton's store. And for those of you who have been paying attention on the stream and have played on the server, you'll note that he has a whole ton of shops in there that are stacked on top of each other. In fact, let me just log in and show you what that looks like here, in case you haven't seen it, and just so we have the comparison. I'll log in as myself, as my personal account, my non-privileged account. So we have Pixel Crew Store, but we have Empton Store. Is the one that just has a ton of stuff. They're all right next to each other in this checkerboard pattern, basically packed in as many chests in a single area as he possibly could. And they went up and did it again. And so if I do markers, single markers per chest, it's going to be just a big old mess. And in fact, if I go down, it's entirely possible that they are stacked right on top of each other. So I'm going to go stand on this shop. I don't even know what it is. I can't read that hologram. Okay, well, let's move to this area where the other shops are stacked. I'm on top of a carrot, and I look up. Okay, so it's not stacked directly on top of each other, which is fortunate. But nothing would stop someone from doing that. And he could have, he has a first floor here. He could do a lower level underneath, which I don't think he did. Not yet, but we do have kind of this, back entrance to the spawn area that isn't obvious for people who are new to the server. So there's no basement with stores that I'm aware of. And he has this first level, he has the second level, and I know he has a third level, but I don't think he's put stores up here. I think it's just, oh yeah, that's his beacon, or his beacons. But nothing would stop a player from stacking a whole bunch of stores all in one area, or all on top of each other, and so markers would be kind of pointless. I think technically they would work because Empton hasn't put them directly on top of each other. But again, nothing would stop him from doing that. This upstairs seems like it's bigger than it is. Why is that? Is there something, a bit of a feature here? I guess he does have some of these reverse stairs that might be hiding some of those chests, so it looks smaller down below than it is up above. And then we have this door with this very hidden button, which I don't have access to. Oh man, I want to see your stuff. So yeah, so that's the main issue I'm talking about, is we have just a whole bunch of stores in one area, and Empton's not alone. If we look at my store, well, I'm not quite as compact as Empton is. I still have a whole bunch of shops here. And while the holograms on these are still off, interesting, it must have... And even the holograms for my wool is off as well. They're not all the same rotation. It must start the rotation when you place it and just keep it across server reboots and people reconnecting. That's interesting. I never noticed before because I never had identical items 3 in a row like this that I was able to see at one time, and I guess I never really paid attention to the wool. Oh, sorry, getting distracted here. And so yeah, the issue is we have all these stores, and if we made it, go back to the map, if we made it, this one icon that you hover over to get the information, well, it'd be a real pain in the butt. You'd have to, move over, hover over each one to see what the store is, and and wouldn't be much better than just logging in and going directly there. And so my thought was to create these rectangular markers that would contain all the stores in an area. I'm still trying to figure out what that would look like. Interesting. What is this? I just want to see what that is. Sorry, I get distracted easily, but there's something out there that is a little weird. But I'll talk while I'm heading out there. So the idea is to create kind of these rectangular areas that'll contain all the stores in the area. Give you a nice formatted layout. I'm probably going to get mobbed by some monsters here. I'm not even sure if I'm close. A little bit to my right. So we have just this, I don't even know what it is, this weird block that's just in the middle out here. Someone dug into the sand and placed these guys. I think if I was logged into my admin account, I could figure out who did it. I have a guess as to who did it. I was kind of a younger player who sometimes does stuff like this, so that might be what happened here. Just a little funny. But I sometimes see little stuff like that lying around. I'm just curious who does it and why. So yeah, that's kind of the thought, is I want to create these store regions that'll try to group all stores together into a kind of similar, into a single region. Not entirely sure what that'll look like and how to do that, but I'll start trying to kind of outline it here a little bit. So the thought is the region will have kind of, XZ coordinates, X and Z. X is this direction, the left and right, and Z is up and down. Y is vertical, and in this map, the Y really doesn't mean anything, although I guess we do have this kind of surface map that you can actually see changes in the Y, but for the most part, nobody really cares. This will look better if I turn off the land claims. Yeah, so you can see we have some actual height in this version. But I suspect most people use this layout. And this is kind of what I want to support. And so the hope is that we'll just kind of group these into areas. We'll have an X and a Y, X and a Z, an upper left or upper right and lower left or whatever. I'll work out what that is. And then probably have a bit of a buffer room. So, I don't know. Let me see here. Let's just... Yeah, so let's build a shop region class. Shop region. Let's not add it to Git just yet. Copy in my standard copyright notice. In the right spot. There we go. What's this going to have? We're going to have private int you said what? Upper right X private int upper right Z In fact, for now, let's just make all this public, or friendly is what Java would call it, package level access. Because I don't really care about making this all super secret, encapsulated. And so let's add in a new iterator here. Let's create a collection, maybe a linked list. So a collection of shop regions. Shop regions equals new linked list. So I did a function that's like, is this location inside an existing region? In fact, this will be easier if I make this a class variable. So let's go ahead and just do that. Call this a private collection. Shop regions. Private boolean. Shop in region. Let's see, this will be a little tricky because, well, we'll just start with it. We'll just start, and there's just a whole bunch of kind of things to address. And I'll have to kind of think through it one at a time here. It's just too much to try to process all at once. So the current task is, figure out, is a particular shop already in an existing region? And so in this case, we'll want to do for shop region inside, say shop region inside this dot shop regions. If shop region dot lower left X. So the left hand side, so X goes negative, goes smaller as you get towards the left. Z goes larger as you go south. Why is everything in computer graphics backwards? Why does Z always get larger as you go down? Oh well. So if left X is less than or equal to, in fact, let's think about this here. You could say X right, X left, Z top, Z bottom. That probably makes a little more sense. So if X left is less than or equal to shop.get location, get block X, have that, and X right is greater than or equal to that, and shop region Z top. So Z top is larger. Actually, let's go with the logical order here. So bottom should be less than get block Z. And finally, come on. This editor is making me work. Z top, this should be larger, so greater than or equal to block Z. So if all of this is true, then we know we are within our region. So return true. Otherwise, return false. All right, so the thought here is, I mean, the very simple implementation of this is, let's say, if this dot shop in region shop. If not, then let's create a new shop. We'll say this dot shop regions dot add new shop region. Now we have some complexity here. We don't have a constructor that handles this, so let's go add in a constructor and say, well, we'll make it package level access. So I say shop region int x right, int x left. And just go left, right, top to bottom. Let's see, we want the lower values to be first. So left is lower than right, and top is lower than bottom, I believe. Yeah, top is lower than bottom. So, yep, left to right, top to bottom. X left, so let's fix the order here. X right, oh, that's not quite correct. And then Z top, Z bottom. Oops, and we need types on these. That's just copy paste. Copy, not cut. My typing is apparently taking a bit of a hit today. This dot. I don't know why X right is highlighted the way it is. Let's try a build and see if that goes away. Oh, because I did R right. Let's try X right. That should fix that. Then we're going to have a problem with the constructor. So shop region. Well, we can start with the very, very basics. And we'll say shop.getLocation dot block X. This will just be easier if I do this. Shop X is equal to that. Int, say X shop. I don't know. Shop X is equal to that. Int shop Z is equal to mostly that. Said it's block Z instead of block X. Then we can say shop X, shop X, shop Z, shop Z. And after all of this, for shop region inside this dot shop regions. Let's just go dump some information here. Oh, this raises a good point, and that shop region also needs world. So let's go add in world. String world. So shop region. So world should be shop region get world. So we have what? X left, X right. Actually, this probably makes more sense if I do XZ, XZ. So top left, bottom right. Yeah, left top, right bottom. Left top, right bottom. Keep hitting Control F6, but it doesn't do what I want. So XZ, then XZ. Oh, and world. String world is equal to shop get. Let's just grab it from the code up above here. Shop world. Shop world. Alright, so we have the world. Let's see, we don't really need get world, we just say shop region.world. Keep it simple. And now we have X left, Z top. So X left, shop region dot X left. X left, Z top. Then X right, Z bottom. Bottom, oops, right. And let's get rid of all this other junk. So basically what we're doing is we're iterating over every single shop on the server. If we don't have an existing region for that shop, we are creating a new region for it, but that region is only going to be a 1x1 block. And so unless we actually have a shop stacked on top of another shop, this won't do anything particularly interesting for us. But it's kind of the first step in getting this stuff sorted out here. So I suspect we're going to see, 120 whatever number of regions as we have shops. But it'll allow us to kind of test things out and see if it does work the way we expect it does, and not have any weird issues here. Yeah, so here's all of our regions, and they're all quite substantial. And so what I'd like to do well, let's first let's add a count to our regions. So we'll say int count. This dot count is equal to 0. Let's see, do shop region. Let's get region, get shop region, return shop region. Otherwise, return. This is interesting. We could have this return a new shop. Yeah, let's try this. Okay, shop region is equal to new blah 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 splat, add the newly created shop region, and then return shop region. So now shop region, will this get for the shop. Shop region dot count plus plus. And let's also add out count as our output. This will allow us to see how many shops are being placed in each region. Right now, since each region is going to be just a small 1-by-1 block, I suspect that every one is going to be in a single region. But, I don't know. This will allow us to test that. And as we add in more logic, and as we start grouping shops together into different regions, we should be able to see that count go up. But for now, since we don't have any of that logic in place, it should be just 1 for everything. All right, so I have our regions, and we can see that everything I could see here gives me a count of 1. Oh, not quite true. We have a count of 2 for a couple of shops here. A few of them. Okay, so that's not quite what I was expecting. Let's just do a quick spot check and see if something's going wrong or if this is correct. Because I had done some checks and I'm not aware of any of our shops are stacked on top of each other. So I think every shop should be in its own region. Let's go ahead and sort this. This will make it easier to find what we're looking for, I think. And then let's create a second editor with our regions. Sort that as well. The sorting isn't perfect. It's not doing like a numerical sort, but it'll at least make it easier to see what's going on. Alright, so let's find one of these that has a count of 2. In fact, there's a whole bunch with a count of 2. Let's take a look. So x negative 54, z 29. So negative 54, 29. Negative 54, 29. Oh, you know what? I bet these are my duplicate, my double chest shops. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, actually. We had a duplicate check here. If it contains it, then we... only if it does not contain it do we go into here. Then we do this additional loop that does not have that duplicate check. And so probably what we should do is let's split this up a little bit. Let's do our duplicate manipulation. Then we have our output, and then let's have our region code. Now let's just add in a bit of logger output here. Just because we have so much output, it's all getting kind of jammed together and it's getting hard to read. So that will hopefully fix my duplicate issue again, which should have thought of that originally, just getting a little kind of tired here. Right, so now for our regions, you see everything has a count of 1. I see nothing with a count of 2. I wouldn't have been surprised if we might have seen 1 or 2 with a count of 2. Like maybe there's a store somewhere that I hadn't noticed that are stacked on top of each other, but this is pretty much what I expected, that there's going to be one region, one store per region. So yeah, I suppose at a fundamental kind of trivial level, this does solve the problem of stores being stacked on top of each other. That we could do if two or more stores are stacked on top of each other, we could combine them together into one marker using this region structure as is. My intent is for regions to actually be larger than this one by one block. That there's got to be some sort of radius logic, and we'll have to grow regions as new stores get added to them. I think this is like a good commit point here. I just want to double check and make sure you see where we're at. For the moment, let's just say, how did I do this before? I think it was 4 indents. Let's say one region, or say region size is 1 by 1 block. Increase region size is kind of the next step. And some of that logic is going to be a little bit tricky and involved, and if we have, we go bring up the map again here. If we start a region here, this is my store. I've got stores all over here. And if we start a region here, and then we start a region here, we say we process this store first, and then we process this store, that'd be 2 separate regions. But then as we process these intermediate stores through here, and then these intermediate stores through here, we're eventually going to meet in the middle. And then these 2 regions will either overlap or something. If we don't combine them at some point, when they meet in the middle here, they're going to overlap. And we need to have logic that goes, oh, well, this region overlaps with this one. Let's combine the 2 and make them one big happy region. And so there's going to be kind of that combined logic that needs to be addressed, as well as the whole growing logic. So, let's say add a radius for regions, or not add, but set initial region size to be a radius around the shop. Don't know what the radius looks like yet. The radius is probably going to be a fairly linear radius as opposed to like a circular radius, just because it'll be easier to do the math. And since everything's rectangles anyways, we will want kind of a quote-unquote rectangular radius, if that makes sense. In fact, let's just put in the word rectangular. So that'd be kind of the next step. The next step after that is to grow the region. Increase the region size as new shops get added. That's kind of the next step after that. And then finally, merge regions with that overlap, or merge overlapping regions. I think that is all of the steps for this work for splitting stores into regions. We already have this initial region size as 1 by 1. That's done. In fact, let's mark that as done. Hasn't been committed yet, but the logic is essentially there. Next step is to set the initial region size to be a rectangular radius. Let's see. Set initial region size to a 1 by 1 block. Done. The next step, set initial region size to be a rectangular radius around the shop. Containing just the shop. Done. Set initial region size to be a rectangular radius around the shop. Not done. Increase the region size as new shops get added. Also not done. And merge overlapping regions. Also not done. So I think something that might be interesting to do is to check to see if this count is working properly. So let's actually go log in and create an overlapping store. And see if we can get the count size to go up for that one block. I'll have to identify the store and create an overlap right above it or below it. I have a thought as to where I want it to go here. It's like I've got my zombie meat store. Let's go check out my zombie meat store, see where I'm at. Let's see, for the block location 61, 65, 25, 61. So 61, 25 is where I want this to go. 61, 25. Negative 61, 25. I need to create another chest. Negative 61, 25. Gotta remember that. Negative 61, 25. And we're heading to negative 61, 25. This is assuming I don't have other stuff here. Let's see here. So 61, 25. Oh, yeah. This is it. So I place it. And we're on negative 61, 25. Let's go make this another saddle shop. See, /shop create 1, 25, 5. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And I've now created a second shop directly on top of another shop. And now when I view my debug information, I should see one region, that negative 61, 25 region, have 2 shops in it. So let's just double check and see if that does indeed work. So I'm just going to do kind of a hand look. Okay, so here is one with a count of 2. And we see X left, negative 61, Z top 25, X right, negative 61, Z bottom 25, count 2. I'm not seeing anything else show up. It's a little tough to look at, so it's a little challenging. I could probably simplify it a little bit by sorting. let's go ahead and do that. Sort. Splat. So we have count 1, lots of count 1s, lots of count 1s, count 1, count 2. That's the negative 6125, so that is the same area. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all 1s, 1, 1, 1, 1, all 1s. So the logic does seem to be sound. I'm convinced, at least. So where are we at? We've added a collection of shop regions. We've also added this shop region class. Let's go take a look at that first here. So I've got shop region. We've got our traditional copyright notice. Package is correct. Public class has world, x left to z top, x right to z bottom, and account. Constructor sets world, x left to z top, x right to z bottom, and initializes count to 0. So it looks pretty basic there. So we've added the collection of shop regions. We count the shop regions. We set up the collection of shop regions by doing get shop region. That function we'll go over in a second, but it basically looks for an existing one. If it doesn't exist, it creates it. Then we increment the count for the region. Now we've tested so that if 2 shops are in the same region, that count does get incremented up to 2. Then we dump out the region information. Then here's the function, the get shop region. So we give it a shop. It iterates over all existing shop regions. If the shop location is within the region, so x left is less than the block x, x right is greater than the block x, greater than equal, less than equal, greater than equal, z bottom is less than equal to block z, z top greater than equal to block z. If all that is true, we just return the region. Otherwise, oh, you know what? This is not quite correct. This only counts for the coordinates, but not the world. So let's go add in another check. It will say shop region dot world dot equals shop region dot, oops, not shop region, shop dot get world get location dot get world dot get name. And so the world must be the same, the x must be within the range, and the z must be in the range. So that's the main change there. If I really cared, I could test this by finding an identical spot of another to create another block, or another store, but another such a pain in the butt to go through, so I'm not going to bother. I'd spend an eternity trying to figure that out. I'm just going to trust that this is correct. I'll test it. I'll make sure that nothing breaks, but I'm not going to create a failing test case just because the condition to set up is a pain in the butt to set up. And let's go ahead and test that. Make sure nothing blows up. Alright, so I've got all of our stuff here. Looks like all of our counts are still correct. If we can find our count of 2 anywhere, we can confirm that our duplicate counter is still working. Yeah, there it is. Negative 61 and 25. That is the one spot I've created a duplicate store. or a stacked store. It's not really a duplicate. It's just two stores stacked right on top of each other. So that much is working. So let's continue the analysis of our commit here. Yeah, see, the only thing we've really added with that last change is we added this line. We do a check of the world name to make sure that they're correct. Because you have to be in the same world to be in the same region. If the region does not exist, then we create it. We get the shop world, we get the shop X, we get the shop Z. We construct a new shop region. It has a radius of 1 or 0, depends on how you count the radius, but it's basically a 1x1 block that has just that one block in it. We add that to our list, and then we return it. So that's that kind of basic first step of the logic here, to set the initial region size to a 1x1 block containing just the shop. That is done. Next step is to increase it, increase that radius, create the initial size to be a rectangular radius, so the initial size. Then the next step after that is to then increase the region size as new shops get added and find the merge overlapping regions. I think once all that is done, I'll have pretty good logic for getting the initial region set. There's additional stuff to consider as shops get added or removed to a live server, so I'm not sure what to do with that yet, but I think for the initialization, this should work just fine. So let's go ahead and commit this. Let's say split shops into regions that are 1 by 1 block by 1 block large, bigger. I don't know, we'll go with that. Alright, so that much is done. Let's see, I think I'm going to call it a day here. It's getting a little late for me, and I've need to take care of a couple other things and grab some dinner. So my next stream, I'll continue on with this next logic to continue to improve on the region logic, to have it be a larger initial region size, increase the size as new shops get added, and then merge overlapping regions. My next stream will hopefully be sometime over the weekend. It's hard to have a solid schedule just yet, but I usually plan to stream on Sunday, so I'll plan on that. Let me go ahead and push this. Again, this is all open source code, so if you wish to check it out, you could go to my GitHub repository on github.com/queuedpixel/dynmap-shopchest. The code I just committed is now available on that repository, and you can go there now and check it out. All right, folks, well, thank you very much for watching today. That's it for me. I will catch you all next time.